Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. Today we are doing What If Goku Was in One Punch Man the movie. 100 years have passed since the Tournament of Power. Vegeta has become the new god of destruction. Goku decided to travel the 7th universe with instant movement, a technique he learned from the Supreme Kai. Goku finds himself on a planet where monsters are a huge threat to human society and heroes save the day. What kind of adventures will our Scion have? Now with that out of the way, let's begin this what if. Just beyond the border of Z City, in a still-standing forest, there was a beautiful blue lake. Its waters were still clean of any pollution, which was a miracle with all those monster onslaughts in the area. Z City was known as a place with high monster activity. The city was abandoned entirely, nobody lived there. Yes, except for a bald man, but we will meet with him later. Now, back to the lake. The lake's surface exploded outward. Not by a bomb, no, but by a single person. It was a man utterly nude as the day he was born, with a massive fish that he was carrying on his shoulder. His appearance was something to behold. The man looked to be in his early 30s. He had a muscular body, one that many warriors would be green with envy. His black hair with streaks of silver was spiky, with the appearance of a palm tree. The man's eyes were black with a hint of silver in them. One would see that the man's eyes possessed a bit of a childish twinkle at a closer look. Though, an experienced martial artist would see the strength those eyes had. But the most noticeable thing he had was a brown tail. This man was known as Goku, a Scion warrior raised on planet Earth in the North Galaxy. Goku sighed, "It looks like I'm eating fish again for dinner." It's been more than 100 years since the Tournament of Power ended. Goku achieved godhood thanks to mastering Ultra Instinct and his Scion biology, which was something he had in common with his rival Vegeta and his student Broly. All of their friends and families had died, even his best friend, Krillin. Losing Chi-Chi was something Goku could not express in words. Sure, he was sad that Chi-Chi died. She was his wife, after all. But he didn't feel any emotional sadness when Chi-Chi died. He married Chi-Chi not out of love but out of a promise he made. Goku thought back then that marriage or bride meant food. Finding out what marriage really meant was a surprise for Goku. In his early life, Goku never really understood what love was. He was raised in the mountains by his grandfather Gohan, and he never taught Goku what love was. Grandpa Gohan died when Goku was only 7. Goku didn't realize back then that he was the cause of his grandfather's death, and he would not find out for a while. After most of their family and friends had died, Goku, Vegeta, and Broly kept training under Whis. During that time, the 3 Scions discovered a new transformation that they were able to attain: Super Saiyan 4. It far exceeded Super Saiyan 3 in power and speed. Whis said to achieve this form, they had regrown their tail and learned to control the Oozaru form. The experience was horrible at first. Getting your tail stump pulled with a pair of tonsils would be painful for anybody. But gaining control over their Oozaru form proved to be even more challenging. They managed to control it and obtain their Super Saiyan for transformation with determination and hard work. Throughout 80 years of training, they became even more powerful. The 3 Scions did not only defeat Beerus, but Goku fought and defeated Whis. Vegeta and Broly came close, but they did not master Ultra Instinct yet. During that time, Beerus decided to resign from his position as a destroyer god and gave the job to Vegeta. Broly decided to continue his training on planet Vampa. Goku, however, decided to travel the 7th universe to have fun and try to hone his skill even further. After 20 years of traveling from planet to planet, thanks to the instant movement, he learned from the Supreme Kai, which was an upgrade of his instant transmission. Goku combined all his Super Saiyan forms with his God power. He was now trying to combine his base form with his Ultra Instinct technique. He wanted to try that with his other transformations as well, but all in good time. Goku took a bite of the fried fish that he made and sighed. "Aw man, I want to eat something other than fish." Goku thought for a bit. This planet he arrived at a few months ago was almost identical to his Earth in the North Galaxy. Though no galactic opponents threaten this planet, it has its share of problems. Monsters, the world was crawling with them. Although, they were pretty weak. And Goku didn't need to interfere in the issues of this world, they had their defenders after all. Heroes. People who saved their world from not only monsters but natural disasters too. They got paid for their duties. Which was strange to the Scion from Earth. He saved his planet plenty of times, but he never asked for money in return. It just didn't feel right to him. Maybe I can enter some tournament to earn some cash. Yes, that was a great idea. He could not only earn money to get food, but he also could test the martial artists of this world. The Scion from Earth had a thoughtful look on his face. Are there even martial arts tournaments on this planet? Goku grinned. Oh well, only one way to find out. Goku stood up and went to his little hut to put on some new clothes. He couldn't fly around but naked after all. Goku smiled at the GI he put on. He made the design of this GI himself. He made other GIs that he was proud of, but this was his favorite one. Yellow pants with a dark blue top and a white belt. To finish the outfit, he wore red wristbands and black shoes. GT outfit, my favorite by far. Looking good, Goku, he said to himself in a mirror. Goku went outside, powered up, and flew to the closest populated city. A petite young woman with a green glow around her body was flying from her latest so-called job. I can't believe those idiots at headquarters, she said with an angry look on her face. A powerful monster, they say, spreading havoc and chaos, what a joke. The person in question was no other than Tatsumaki, also known as the Tornado of Terror. Her latest job was in H City, a town located on an island northwest of A City. Headquarters said it was a dragon-level threat. She snorted. More like a demon-level threat if you asked her. Although she didn't mind defeating monsters, no matter how strong or weak they were. But today was an exception. It was supposed to be her day off. She had the day all planned out to go shopping with her younger sister Fubuki. She sighed. She had a sad look on her face. She really was looking forward to spending some time with her younger sister. But now that day was ruined, it was almost 5 p.m. I'm sorry, Fubuki, I'll make it up to you, I promise. Suddenly, Tatsumaki saw something from the corner of her left eye. What is that? It looked like a figure that was flying at high speed. Huh, said the Esper. I didn't know there were other heroes who could fly long distances like me. Then again, she didn't know if the person in question was a hero or not. I better find out if this person is a threat or not. The Esper changed direction and flew towards her target. Except Goku was flying right above Z City when he thought about something. This place was abandoned. Nobody lives in this city anymore. Well, said Goku with a smile, almost nobody. He sensed one person who lived there. Whoever that person was, they were strong. The power he felt coming from that single person would be equal to that of Perfect Cell. Or maybe even a bit higher. Though, it could be that this person was hiding his true strength. There were other high-key signatures scattered all over the place. But they didn't even come close to this person. The weakest of the heroes would be around a power level of 50 or below. While the strongest he felt were around the levels of those Jinyu guys he fought on Namek. Speaking of key signatures, Goku felt that somebody was following him. Whoever or what it was, he didn't know. But the key was powerful. Well, powerful to some, he guessed. It was intense as when Vegeta first came to Earth. It could be that this person was hiding her true strength, though. I should probably find out what it is this person wants from me. Goku stopped his flight in midair. He turned around and waited for the person that was following him. After a few seconds, the person in question stopped a few meters before him. Goku was mesmerized by this woman he saw. How could Goku tell she was a woman and not a kid, you ask? Easy, no child would have such control of her power. The woman in front of her had experience in her eyes of a veteran warrior. And the most straightforward way to find out she was a woman and not a kid was looking at her, cough cough. Assets. Her breast may be small, but it was still very noticeable. Especially with that tight black dress she wore. However, her appearance was something that Goku found more appealing. Emerald green eyes and green hair that naturally curls upon the ends. Goku wasn't one that really noticed how women looked. But even he had to admit the woman in front of him looked stunning, especially with that green glow surrounding her. Tatsumaki looked at the man floating in front of her with sharp detail. And she must admit she was impressed. Those muscles, she thought with a slight blush. There weren't bulky muscles like those meatheads like Super Alloy Darkshine and Tank Top Master or that freak Pori Pori Prisoner had. No, these muscles were well defined, almost like a Greek god from ancient legends. He was a martial artist, by the looks of it. His GI was certainly colorful, and was that a tail she saw? Was this guy even human? His spiky black hair with streaks of silver gave him a mature look. And when Tatsumaki saw those eyes, she shivered. Those were the eyes of a person who saw a lot of fighting in his life and possessed incredible power. Even Bang and Atomic Samurai didn't have such eyes. Who was this man? After a few minutes of silence, Tatsumaki began to speak. And who are you supposed to be? By your appearance, you seem to be a martial artist. But that tail of yours tells me you are not human or not entirely anyway. Who me? My name is Son Goku, he said with his famous grin. And while I was raised as an Earthling, I was actually born on an alien planet called Vegeta. Oh, said Tatsumaki, surprised. Are you now? Goku nodded. And if you are an alien that was raised on Earth, how come this is the first time I see you? A guy like you shouldn't go unnoticed. Especially with that monkey tail of yours. Goku looked confused. What do you mean? Is this planet also called Earth? Tatsumaki was shocked by the strange man's answer. Wait, are you telling me you're from a different Earth? Yeah, said Goku with a grin. Though I am surprised that your world has the same name as mine. You see, my Earth is located in the North Galaxy. However, this Earth that you call home is in the far edges of the South Galaxy. Tatsumaki looked bewildered. I never thought there would be another Earth, like mine, in space. Goku grinned. Well, the landmass is entirely different from the Earth where I'm from. And the buildings are more cylindrical and round. And the cars fly in the air instead of the ground. Well, most of them do. Also, no dinosaurs are running around here on your Earth. Flying cars? Dinosaurs? It seems like your world is an exciting place to live, Tatsumaki said with a joking tone. Well, I have told you my name and where I'm from. Could you tell me yours? Goku said with a grin. We use cookies. By using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and accept our cookies/privacy/policies. Except Tatsumaki smiled. She didn't know how this Goku did it. But his happy and friendly attitude was contagious. Her bad mood from earlier was gone entirely. My real name is Tatsumaki. But my hero name is the Tornado of Terror. Pleased to make your acquaintance, she said with a smirk. Goku nodded his head in acknowledgement. Wow, Tornado of Terror, that's a terrifying but awesome name. Tatsumaki smiled in gratitude towards Goku. Thanks, so you said you were born on this planet called Vegeta, right? Goku nodded. Yep, that right. So how come you ended up on your Earth? Goku sighed. That's a long story, and I'm afraid I don't have the time to explain it. Oh? Are you late for something? Well, I'm looking to find some information for any tournaments they are holding. You see, I just arrived on your planet a month ago, and I have been eating nothing but fish, Goku said with a pout. I really need some money to buy some local cuisine. You know. Tatsumaki giggled at the face Goku was making. Well, I don't know about any tournament, but I can treat you to some ramen if you like. Goku was surprised by the gesture. Really? Are you sure? I don't want to impose on you, and I eat a lot. Tatsumaki chuckled. No worries, I'm an S-class hero. I have enough money to spare. And don't worry, you're not imposing. As long as you're willing to continue your story, I'm more than happy to buy you dinner. Wow, really? Thanks a lot, Tatsu-chan, said Goku with a happy smile. Tatsumaki blushed at the nickname Goku gave her. Hey, I never permitted you to give me a nickname. Goku pouted. But Tatsumaki is such a long name to remember. Damn it, thought Tatsumaki with a blush. He's so cute when he does that. Fine, I permit you to use that name. But in return, she said with a blush, you have to tell me all about your life, and I can call you Goku-kun. Goku grinned. Really? Okay, you have yourself a deal, Tatsu-chan. Tatsumaki nodded. Okay then, now let's go to B City. It has a famous ramen restaurant. Goku nodded. Lead the way, Tatsu-chan. I will Goku-kun, said Tatsumaki with a smile. They both flew with high speed towards B City. 3 men were walking next to each other. The oldest was a man who looked to be in his late 70s. With white hair and thick eyebrows. And a nice-looking mustache. Although he looked like a fragile older man. Looks could be deceiving. He was actually an S-rank hero named Silver Fong. But for people to whom he was close to, he was simply known as Bang. The second man was the youngest of the two. He looked to be in his late teens. But he had mechanical parts all over his body. He had blonde spiky hair, and his eyes had black sclera and yellow irises. This man or cyborg was known as Genos. Also known as the Demon Cyborg, an S-class hero like Bang. The third man was the most normal-looking of the two. He appeared to be in his early 20s. He was completely bald and wore a yellow jumpsuit with a white cape. He wore red gloves and red boots. Everyone who first lay on this man would immediately dismiss him because of his ordinary appearance. But the people who knew him and saw him fight knew how capable he was. This man was known as Saitama, or Caped Baldy, a B-rank hero. Though he was of lower rank, his strength far surpassed that of his companions. Thanks again, Bang, for inviting Genos and me for dinner, said Saitama. Except the older adult chuckled. No thanks are needed, Saitama. If it weren't for you and Genos, my dojo would have been taken over by those hoodlums in my absence. Not only that, but you also saved the world 2 months ago from that alien leader. It's the least I can do for you. Thank you, Bang, for believing in my master's skill. It's too bad nobody saw you defeat that alien menace master. You certainly would be A-class by now. Saitama shrugged his shoulders. Oh well, there is nothing we can do about that. I guess the only thing I can do is to keep fighting monsters and hope that my rank will increase. The 2 men nodded. After a bit of walking, they reached their goal and entered the establishment. A popular ramen restaurant in B City. The establishment that the 3 men entered was very luxurious for a simple ramen restaurant. Wow, this place is fancy, said Saitama. Genos nodded at his master's words. Yes, master, this ramen restaurant is one of the most popular places in B City. It also has a rich tradition. It is said that this place first started its business more than over 100 years ago. Its first owner was a man called Kaito Sekai, who then gave it to his son, and so forth. The recipe of this restaurant has also never been changed. Handed out through the years, it has been one of the most guarded secrets to this day. Saitama had a tick mark on his. He didn't ask for a history lesson. Bang chuckled. Now, let's see if we can find ourselves a seat. Bang looked around the restaurant for a place he and his companions could sit. However, the place was packed with people. Bang noticed after a while a table in the back with a familiar face. I think I have found our table. The old martial artist walked towards the person in question. Saitama and Genos just followed the older man. Ah, Tatsumaki, fancy meeting you here. Do you mind if my friends and I join you? Tatsumaki looked up at the owner of the familiar voice and smiled. Bang, good to see you. Sure, you can sit with us, and your friends can. When Tatsumaki saw who Bang's friends were, she frowned. Oh, it's you too. Saitama had a tick mark on his face. Is that any way to speak to your elders, brat? Tatsumaki glared at Saitama. How many times do I have to tell you that I'm not a brat? I'm 27, you stupid badly. Saitama frowned at the child's comment of his baldness. First of all, I can't help that I am bald, okay? And second, lying about your age to drink alcohol is a bad thing, said Saitama while pointing at the cup of sake she was holding. Before Tatsumaki could make a scene, another voice spoke up. I don't know where you get the idea that Tatsu-chan is a child, but she is, in fact, an adult. The three men looked at the man who was sitting next to Tatsumaki. When Saitama saw the man's appearance, he immediately got depressed. The man had so much hair, and it was so cool looking too. Oh, said Bang. And who might you be? The man looked to be a martial artist. He looked funny with his ramen that dangled out of his mouth. But by a closer look, Bang saw this man was not one to be taken lightly. His eyes held an unbelievable amount of experience. The man slurped his noodles and smiled at Bang. My name is Son Goku. It's nice to meet you. The three nodded and introduced themselves to Goku. My name is Genos, said the cyborg. And my name is Bang. It's a pleasure to meet another martial artist. Goku nodded in return. Same here, he said with a grin. The name is Saitama. Nice to meet you, he said with a depressed look on his face. Are you okay? Asked Goku with a worried look. Yeah, I'm fine. Nothing to be concerned about. I think my master is jealous of the fact that you have nice hair, while he, unfortunately, doesn't have any. Genos turned to Saitama. Don't worry, master. I'll make sure to make some hair grow medicine for you when we go back home. That's not necessarily Genos, said Saitama with a tick mark on his forehead. Goku awkwardly scratched the back of his head. They sure were a comical bunch. Well, anyway, as I said earlier, Tatsu-chan is truly an adult. She is 27 years old, you know? Saitama looked at Goku with a shocked look. Wait, are you for real? Goku nodded. It's true, master, said Genos. Miss Tornado, although she looks young, is an adult. Saitama looked at Bang for confirmation. Bang chuckled at Saitama's confused look. Yes, Tatsumaki may have a youthful appearance, but she is a grown-up. Saitama did something he had never done before. He apologized. Sorry for calling you a brat. Tatsumaki snorted. So long you don't make the same mistake again, Baldy. Saitama glared at Tatsumaki, but before he could make a reaction, Goku's voice was heard. Tatsu-chan, that's not nice. Tatsumaki was surprised by the tone of Goku's voice. Saitama has apologized for his actions. Now you have to do the same thing too. Tatsumaki pouted. But Goku-kun, that's not the same thing. He is bald. Goku's face had a stern look. That may be so, but those words may be hurtful for him. He apologized for calling you a brat, so as an adult, you should show him the same courtesy. Tatsumaki sighed. Oh fine. I'm sorry for calling you bald. Saitama nodded. Apologies accepted. Goku smiled at Tatsumaki. The Esper blushed at Goku's smile. Excuse me, Miss Tornado. Your big order is finally ready, sorry for the delay. Two waiters suddenly dropped a massive plate with more than 100 ramen bowls on their table. Genos, Bang, and Saitama's eyes dropped almost out of their heads by the amount of ramen they saw. Goku had a happy look on his face. That one bowl of ramen wasn't enough to satisfy him. Woohoo, more food, cheered Goku, and he began to dig in. We use cookies. The three men were astonished by the amount of food he digests. Saitama was more amazed by how Goku was eating his meal. Wow, he doesn't even swallow his food. Where does it all go? Said Genos, surprised. He reminds me of Pig God, said Bang with a chuckle. But Tatsumaki wasn't happy with Goku's eating habits. No friend of her was gonna act like a pig. She pulled the scion by the ear. AUW, that hurts Tatsu-chan. The Esper glared at Goku. It serves you right, Goku-kun. Don't you have any table manners? Now, Tatsumaki said with a scowl. You will eat slowly and swallow your food because next time you try to eat so fast, I'm going to do something much worse than grabbing your ear. Goku swallowed fearfully but nodded. He began to eat more slowly, or at least tried to. Meanwhile, Bang, Genos, and Saitama ordered their food. Thanks to the slow pace Goku had to eat from Tatsumaki, the three men easily finished their meal before him when it arrived. After a while, all the ramen bowls were empty. Oh boy, that was some excellent food, said Goku with a large grin. Everybody chuckled at the scion from Earth. Now, Goku-kun, you promised to tell me more about yourself, remember? So how did you end up on your Earth? Bang! Saitama and Genos looked confused. Your Earth? What do you mean by that? Said Saitama. Goku-kun is actually an alien that was raised on another Earth. Another Earth, said Saitama, amazed. You're an alien, Goku-san, said Genos, surprised. Yeah, I am, said Goku with a smile. He showed his tail and told the others the same thing he told Tatsumaki. Fascinating, said Bang. I never thought there existed an Earth similar to ours in outer space. Before the conversation could continue, an alarm throughout the city was heard. Warning, warning, a monster has been spotted in B City. Threat level demon. We ask all citizens who are in the area to evacuate to the nearest shelter. All the people in the restaurant screamed in panic. In less than 5 minutes, the whole restaurant was empty. Huh, a monster is it? What does demon mean exactly? Genos spoke up. There are a total of 5 classes for monster threats, Goku-san. First is wolf, any potential threat that poses a danger to an unknown degree. Second is tiger, any threat to a large number of people. Third is demon, any threat to a city and its people. The fourth is dragon, any threat to multiple cities. And last and most dangerous threat level is God, a threat endangering the survival of humanity. I see, said Goku, nodding his head. You know, I fought a few monsters these last 2 weeks. They appeared in great numbers at the place where I built my house. But they were pretty weak though. Oh, and where do you live exactly? Said Bang with a curious look. Oh, I live just beyond the borders of a place called Z City. I live in a huge forest. Z City, Saitama said, surprised. Hey, that's where I live. You do, said Goku with a smile. Of course, Goku knew this already. He recognized Saitama's energy signature the moment he saw him. You live in that ghost town, said Tatsumaki in disbelief. Why would you live there? Saitama shrugged his shoulders. The rent is cheap. And a B-class hero like me doesn't earn enough money for living somewhere else and getting the food I want. Huh, said Goku, confused. What's a B-class? It's one of the 4 classes a hero can either earn or be assigned to according to their strength and skill level. Goku-san, said Bang. Tatsumaki nodded. Yes. As Bang said, there are 4 classes. The lowest is C class. Next is B class, and after that is A class. And the highest is S class, said Tatsumaki with a grin. Like me, Bang, and Genos. There are also ranks involved in each class, said Bang. Tatsumaki is rank 2 while I am ranked 3. Goku smiled at Tatsumaki. Wow, that's amazing, Tatsu-chan. The Esper blushed. Thanks Goku-kun. And which rank are you too? Asked Goku. I am ranked 14, said Genos. Saitama sighed. Like I said earlier. I am B class. And I am ranked 7. You're a B class? But how? I mean, you are pretty strong. I mean, from what I can sense from you. You should at least be S class. Genos smiled at Goku. Finally, someone who recognizes Master's power. When Master Saitama did his entrance exam for being a hero, he did very poorly on the writing exam. Even though he broke all records on the physical test. That's why he started out as a C class. Tatsumaki slapped her head at the incompetence of the Hero Association. I can't believe those morons at HQ putting someone in C or in this case B class just because they did bad on a written test. Bang sighed. Yes, it's quite a dilemma. Meh, it doesn't bother me that much, really. I will eventually reach S class anyway. I just have to keep on defeating monsters like I always do. They all nodded at Saitama's words. You, by the way? Shouldn't you guys do something about that monster that's rampaging in this city? They all shrugged their shoulders. Meh, said Tatsumaki. It's only demon class anyway. Besides, all the people are evacuated by now. Goku sighed at the lack of enthusiasm his new friends had. But they had a point. As long as all the citizens were safe. Goku made sure to use his senses for safety measures. He wanted to make sure there were no civilians in the city. By the way, Goku, you never continued your story, said Tatsumaki. Huh, what do you mean? Tatsumaki slapped her head at Goku's forgetfulness. I mean about how you ended up at your Earth. You did say you were born on a planet that is called Vegeta, right? How did you end up there? The others looked at Goku intrigued. Tatsumaki had a point. If Goku really was born on a different planet, how did he end up on his Earth? Goku sighed. He was hoping to avoid telling about his origin. It wasn't something he was proud of. Well, you see, I'm not really fond of my race. They were actually pretty evil, he said with a frown. Evil, said Saitama confused. What did they do? Goku began to explain in detail what his race was called and what they did. What? Screamed Tatsumaki angrily. They kill people and sell planets. Man, these scions sound like a real piece of work, said Saitama with a frown. Unforgivable, said Genos with hateful eyes. Killing whole species just so they can resell the planets they conquer for a huge profit. Bang didn't say a thing. But just by looking at his face, you saw he was displeased. Goku-san, said Genos. I can understand your dislike of your own race. However, that doesn't explain how you ended up on your world. Yeah, said Saitama. And also, if those scions were so evil, how come you were such a nice guy, said Saitama confused. When scions are born, they are tested by the power they possess. There are a total of 4 classes that used to be on planet Vegeta. Used to be, everyone thought. First, you have the low class, second, you have the middle class, third you have the elite. And what's the 4th class, said Tatsumaki curious. Super elite, said Goku with a small smile. Were you born as an elite, said Genos. Goku shook his head in a no gesture. I was born as a low-class warrior. Because I was considered a low class, I was sent as a baby to Earth to conquer it. What the hell, said Saitama mad. Why would they send babies into space? Normally Saitama wasn't one who got angry easily. But sending toddlers into space, that was inhuman in his eyes. Adult scions take over planets where the inhabitants are considered strong. Planets where the people are weak, they send infants with low battle power to conquer it. I was lucky enough to hit my head when I was younger. I forgot all about my heritage and my mission to eradicate life, Goku said. How would a baby conquer a planet anyway, said Genos confused. No matter how strong he or she is, a baby is still a baby. Thanks to the full moon, scions have the ability to transform in an Oozaru ape that boosts their strength 10 times. Wow, what a weird ability, said Saitama. The others nodded. Goku-san, said Bang. Forgive me for asking. But you said that those 4 classes used to be on this planet called Vegeta. Does that mean the class system doesn't exist anymore? Not exactly. You see, the scions were under the rule of an evil tyrant called Frieza. And Frieza one day heard rumors about a legend called the Super Saiyan. He wanted to make sure that no scion reached this level. So, Goku said sad sigh. He blew planet Vegeta up. What? They all screamed. Saitama frowned. Although I'm not fond of these scions, I think this Frieza character is even worse. Yes, Master, I totally agree, said Genos. So, Goku-kun, said Tatsumaki. Do any other scions survive that explosion? Yes, said Goku. In total, 8 scions survived the explosion. The scions who survived were called Raditz, Nappa, Tulls, Tarbell, Paragus, Broly, and Vegeta. But only me, Vegeta, and Broly are still alive. Wait, Vegeta? I thought that was the name of the planet, said Saitama confused. Goku chuckled. Vegeta is named after the planet, since he was royalty. Although, Goku said while scratching his head, Vegeta still sometimes sees himself as a prince. And this, Vegeta, said Bang curious. Is he good like you? Well, at first he wasn't. But after a while, he became more grumpy than evil, said Goku with a chuckle. And what about this Broly guy? Asked Tatsumaki. Goku smiled. Oh yeah. Broly doesn't have a bad bone in his entire body. He is actually my first student. I see, said Bang with a soft smile. Are this Vegeta and Broly strong? Asked Saitama curious. Goku nodded. Oh yeah, there is no question about that. Vegeta is almost my equal. And Broly isn't far behind. And after telling a few more things about Vegeta and Broly, Goku ended his tale of how he came to Earth. Well, that's how I ended up on Earth. I was found by my adopted grandfather Gohan in the woods. He was a martial arts master and trained me how to become strong. Though, after he passed away, I trained under his master mutant Rashi to hone my skills even further. I met many people in my life and faced a lot of bad guys. Saitama was a bit intrigued by this Goku guy. He must have been through a lot. Could he be the one that would give the fight he looked for? Well, I'm glad you and the other 2 didn't turn out as evil as the rest of your race, Goku-kun, said Tatsumaki with a smile. Goku grinned. Yeah, me too. So, said Bang curiously. When did you find out when you were a scion? When I was 23, I guess. Raditz showed up out of nowhere. He was very angry I didn't carry out my mission. I was pretty weak back then. I had to team up with my greatest enemy, who later became one of my closest friends, to defeat him. Goku sighed. He was also my brother. Wow, must suck to find out your brother was such a bastard, said Tatsumaki. Yeah, it certainly was. Saitama spoke up. You know, I fought this evil alien a few months ago. And he could also transform. Tatsumaki looked surprised. What? When did you fight an alien? It was back when that alien ship attacked, remember? Master Saitama invaded the enemy's stronghold and defeated the leader of those aliens. Oh, that, said Tatsumaki with a frown. She was still pissed that Baldy defeated that alien before her. So, said Goku. Was this alien strong? Matt, said Saitama with a shrug. He had impressive regeneration abilities, I didn't get to go all out. Most of my enemies are defeated by one punch. Tatsumaki snorted. Yeah, right, she thought. And as usual, HQ gave the S-Class's credit for defeating that alien, said Genos with a frown. I told you to stop worrying about that Genos, said Saitama. Tatsumaki frowned. She didn't knew that. Who could have said that? Goku-san, said Bang. I'm quite curious about your race. Does it have any other transformations or abilities? Goku grinned. Yeah, in total if you don't include my Oozuru form, I have about 4 normal transformations. They were shocked by the amount. For transformations, Tatsumaki said, shocked. Genos sweated. You said normal ones. Does that mean you have special ones as well? Goku smirked. Maybe. But I can't unveil all my secrets, can I? Tatsumaki pouted. Mu Goku Koen, how mean? Goku chuckled at Tatsumaki's face. And what about abilities, said Saitama with a serious look. Huh, abilities you say, let's see? Oh, said Goku with a knowing look. We Scions have the ability to get stronger every time we recover from serious injuries or from near death. Saitama had an excited grin on his face. Could Goku be the one I was looking for all this time, thought Saitama excited. Goku-san, you don't have to if you want to, said Bang. But, do you mind showing us some or maybe one of your transformations? Goku thought for a bit. I guess I can show you one of my transformations. Goku stood up from his seat. A yellow glow suddenly formed around Goku's body. Tatsumaki was mesmerized by the glow. Was Goku an Esper too? Goku's hair began to flicker from black/silver to blonde. His black eyes, with a touch of silver, suddenly turned blue. A yellow flaming aura that gave off an amazing light suddenly engulfed the Scion's whole body. The others had to close their eyes from sudden light. And when they opened their eyes, they were amazed by Goku's new form. He didn't change much. But, instead of the usual black/silver hair the Scion had, it was now blonde. His black eyes, with a hint of silver, were now blue. And a yellow flame-like aura covered his whole body. Tatsumaki blushed when she saw Goku's new look. He looked so handsome, she thought. Bang sweated by the pressure he felt coming from Goku. He swallowed nervously. All his instincts told him to run away. Genos was shocked by his scanner's readings. His power suddenly skyrocketed to amazing levels. But how is that even possible? Saitama was depressed. Don't get him wrong, he was excited by what Genos just said. But he was down in the dumps by Goku's cool-looking hair. It wasn't just fair. He envied the Scion's ability to get cooler hair by getting stronger. He had even more transformations than this one. Saitama just hoped Goku didn't have the ability to get even cooler hair. Next thing you know, he can turn his hair blue. This form is called a Super Scion, said Goku with a grin. Super Scion, said Tatsumaki surprised. Do you mean that legend that Frieza guy was scared of? Yeah. I actually awakened this transformation when I fought Frieza for the first time and defeated him. Well, it's certainly impressive, said Bang with a nervous stutter. So, what does this form exactly do? It increases my base strength and speed by 50. So, does every transformation make you stronger? Asked Tatsumaki. Goku nodded. Yeah, it does. Goku made his transformation fade. They all suddenly heard yelling coming from outside. We use cookies. Oh no, said Goku. There are still people outside. While he was showing his transformation and telling about his abilities, Goku forgot to keep his senses up. Crap, said Saitama. All the heroes and Goku ran outside. They saw a man and a female argue. It's your fault our daughter went missing, screamed the woman. My fault. "It was you that was watching her," yelled the man. Before the two got even more physical with each other, Tatsumaki used her Esper powers to break them up. "That's quite enough for you two. Don't you know that all civilians are supposed to evacuate to the shelter? A demon threat is on the loose." "Miss Tornado," said the woman, surprised. The man looked shocked. "The S-Class heroes Silver Fong and Genos," said the man, astounded. "Enough," said Genos seriously. "All civilians should be at the evacuation shelter. Why are you two still here?" "WLUC. During the evacuation, our little daughter Elena lost her doll," said the woman. "We weren't paying attention for only a minute or two. But she somehow managed to escape the shelter," said the man with a lost look. "I'm sorry, darling, for being mad at you." The woman shook her head. "No, I am the one who should apologize. I was the one who yelled at you." Goku looked sadly at the couple. When Gohan was still a little boy, he also sometimes wandered off on his own while he and Chi-Chi weren't paying attention. Goten was the same, of course. But he was a bit older than Gohan was and he already could fly. And the little boy was very free-spirited like Goku was when he was young. But Gohan was more sheltered as a young boy. It mostly came because of Chi-Chi's upbringing, letting him study at a young age of 3 while he should have been playing and enjoying life. Chi-Chi meant well, of course. She wants Gohan to become a scholar and have a good job to support his family. And it happened. Gohan married Videl when they were 18 years old. Just like him and Chi-Chi, he became a university professor. And they earned enough money to live a very comfortable life. Besides, even if there were days they had financial trouble, Mr. Satan would always come to the rescue. Videl's father, Mr. Satan, was a very good man. Even if he lied to world. He did, however, save the day when we were fighting Kid Buu. Without him, we could have never gathered that much energy from the people. Of was a real hero in Gok's eyes. And then there his little granddaughter Pan. She wasn't like her father, though. Pan was very outgoing when she was young. She became a well-known martial artist. She was quite talented, being able to fly when she was only a toddler. She died about 30 years ago, when she became 70 to cancer. Goku shook his head from those thoughts and came back to reality. He had to find this little girl. Bang sighed. Now, there is no reason to blame yourselves. Don't worry, we will find your girl for you." "Easier said than done," said Genos. "This city is quite large." "Yeah, you're right about that. It won't be easy to find her," said Saitama. "Don't worry," said Goku. "I have a technique that will make finding her easy." "You do?" "Yeah, I just have to track her energy and teleport to her." "You can teleport, Goku-kun," said Tatsumaki, amazed. "You certainly have some interesting abilities," said Bang with a grin. "So, how does your technique work?" said Saitama, curious. "All I have to do is concentrate." Goku put 2 fingers on his forehead and closed his eyes. He began to search for a small key that was in the city. The parents of the child looked at the man with hope in their eyes. Could this man who was not a hero really find their daughter? After a while, Goku frowned. "Oh, no, I found her. But there is a large key signature close to her. It must be the monster. I have to be quick." Goku suddenly vanished from their eyes. "Wow, he vanished," said Saitama, amazed. "Do you really think he will find our girl?" Tatsumaki nodded. She had complete confidence in Goku's abilities. Bang chuckled. "You don't have to worry about that. Although Goku is no hero, he is an experienced martial artist. And he is stronger than me and Tatsumaki." The Esper nodded. There was no question about that. The energy she felt coming from Goku when he transformed was well beyond what she was capable of. And Goku still had many other transformations up his sleeve. He might be even stronger than Blast. No, scratch that. She was very certain Goku could defeat Blast no problem. The parents were full of hope. If S-class heroes had so much hope in this man called Goku, then he must be quite capable. Saitama smirked. Yeah, I have a feeling Goku can handle this no problem. Genos nodded at his master's words. The Scion was quite capable. He didn't think he was stronger than Master Saitama. But, then again, no one was. After a while, they suddenly saw a huge beam of blue light. It flew and broke through dozens of abandoned buildings and destroyed a huge mountain in the process. The beam travels upwards into space where it slowly fades away. What the hell was that? They all yelled. After a few seconds had passed, Goku suddenly appeared again. But this time he had someone with him. Elena, the parents yelled happily. Mommy, Daddy, said the young girl happily. The young girl had a stuffed rabbit in one hand while she was running towards her parents. Goku smiled at the sight. There was nothing more rewarding than seeing the smiles on people's faces. After the parents hugged their daughter, they turned to Goku. They bowed in gratitude. Thank you so much for finding our daughter Goku-san. We don't know how we can repay. Goku chuckled. Ah, no thanks is necessary. Just be sure to look after your daughter. They nodded. Mr. Goku is so cool. He defeated that monster with some kind of huge attack, said the girl with a smile. He also found Donna for me. Elena hugged her little doll. Goku-san, said Bang amazed. Were you the one who fired that blue beam? Goku looked confused at Bang. Blue beam? Ah, you mean my Kamehameha wave. Kamehameha wave, said Tatsumaki fascinated. Is that what the technique is called? Turtle destruction wave, said Genos with an odd look. It certainly lives up to its name. Saitama grinned. That was awesome. I never thought there were people capable of shooting laser beams out of their hands. Oh, everyone can learn Kamehameha, you know? It just takes practice and learning to control your energy. Energy, said Saitama confused. What is that? Energy or ki is a tangible force inside every living body. With it you can do amazing things. From making small energy blasts to huge beams like my Kamehameha wave. You can even learn to fly if you learn to unlock your ki, said Goku with a grin. Interesting, said Bang with a gleam in his eyes. Do you think it's possible that an old coat like me is able to learn this technique? Goku nodded. Sure. I mean, you are already experienced in the way of martial arts. So, unlocking your ki and learning how to fly wouldn't be that difficult for you. Tatsumaki suddenly appeared before Goku. What about me, Goku-kun? Can you teach me too? And me also, said Saitama with an exciting look. I always wanted to learn to fly as a kid. And being able to shoot energy blasts is a bonus. Goku grinned. Well sure, I don't mind teaching all three of you. But Tatsu-chan, why do you want to learn how to use ki? I mean, you already know how to fly. I know, said Tatsumaki with a grin. But if can learn this ki, I can maybe fuse it with my Esper powers. Genos shivered. That is a terrifying thought. Well, okay then. I'll be glad to teach you. But what about you, Genos? Is that a possibility? I mean, I am a cyborg, you know? Am I able to learn this ki? Goku chuckled. Oh, that's no problem. As long as you are still half human and not fully robotic. It should still work. However, you will have a tougher time awakening your ki than the others. Genos smiled. Then I'll be happy to learn from you, Goku-sensei. Just Goku is fine, Genos, said the Scion with a sweat drop. Good luck with that, said Saitama with a sigh. I tried many times to stop calling me master. Mr. Goku, said Elena. Can you teach me too? The Scion chuckled. Tell you what, if you're a little bit older, I'll be happy to teach some martial arts katas. For now, just enjoy being a kid, okay? Okay, said Elena with a sad smile. Goku sighed. He had a weak spot for kids. Hey now, don't be like that. How about I give you a demonstration of some of my techniques? Really, said Elena with sparkling eyes. Goku nodded. Sure, now let's see. Ah, do you see that boulder? Watch carefully. Goku stretched out his arm. Suddenly a ball of yellow energy shot out of Goku's palm and obliterated the boulder completely. Elena and even Saitama had stars in their eyes. Awesome, they both yelled. So, that is key, said Bang with an impressed look. It's certainly destructive. Tatsumaki nodded. Yes, I agree. Next, I'm gonna show is a technique called the Kaioken. Kaioken, said Elena confused. Yeah, it's a multiplier technique that allows me to boost my power and speed. Here, let me show you. Goku began to clench his fists. Kaioken, screamed Goku. A red flame-like aura surrounded Goku's entire body. Wow, so pretty, said Elena. Goku's power is rising sharply, said Genos. It's impressive. Although, it's not as strong as his Super Saiyan form. It looks cool though, said Saitama. But why did he yell so loud? The others shrugged their shoulders. Goku let his red aura fade. Well, I'm ready to show you one final thing. Elena pouted. Oh, come on. It just began to get better. Goku chuckled. I know, but it is getting pretty late. And don't you have a school day tomorrow? The parents nodded. Goku-san is right, Elena. After this, we go home. And you're going straight to bed, said the woman. The girl sighed. Okay, Mom. Goku thought for a bit. What else can I show her? Goku suddenly saw something rising in the sky. He quickly averted his eyes. Goku grinned. Hey, Elena. Do you like monkeys? The girl nodded with a smile. Everybody sweated nervously. He is not gonna transform in that Ozra state, is he? Said Saitama. I guess we will find out, said Bang. Huh, but didn't he need the moo? Oh, never mind, said Tatsumaki with a sweat drop. Everyone saw the moon in the sky. You all better move a few meters away from me. They did as Goku asked. Goku looked into the sky and let nature run its course. The effect was instantaneous. Goku's muscles began to get larger. His nails and teeth began to get sharper. His body began to grow. And hair began to cover his entire body. The parents and the little girl were in shock. Wow, what's happening to him? Asked the father. His wife couldn't respond. The little girl's eyes kept looking at Goku's form in amazement. The four heroes, except Saitama, who found it to be fascinating, gulped nervously. Oh, God, said Bang. Let's just hope he can control this form and he doesn't go on a rampage. Tatsumaki nodded. Yeah, I hope so too. Genos wasn't worried about that. He knew if Goku-san went on a rampage his master could easily subdue him. But, it was still an imposing form. A golden light began to surround the great ape. The fur on his body began to turn blonde. When the transformation was over, a gigantic golden monkey was looking at them with a grin. They all looked in amazement. Wow, that's one huge monkey, said Saitama. Actually, the correct word for this form is called Oozaru, said the deep voice of Goku. Oh, right, said the bald hero with a chuckle. Sorry about that. Tatsumaki sighed in relief. It looked like Goku-kun could control this Oozaru form. Elena had stars in her eyes. You look so cool, Mr. Goku. The monkey let out a deep chuckle. Glad you like it. Now then. Goku concentrated for a bit. Normally, he couldn't go back to his base form until the moon was gone. But luckily, since his Super Saiyan 4 transformation was connected to his monkey form, he could easily transform into that. And from that point, he could reverse back to his base form. Although, it did take some concentration to pull it off. And he wanted to make sure his SSJ4 form was kept a secret for now. So he made sure to make his golden aura a bit flashy to hide it. He also made sure to hide his energy. They couldn't sense Ki, but they were able to feel the pressure of his energy. And Genos could calculate his strength with that scanner he has installed into his eyes. However, Goku doubts that Cyborg could estimate his full strength, especially when he uses his God Ki. The heroes and family of 3 shielded their eyes from bright light. And when the light was gone, Goku was back in his base form. Well, that's all I'm going to show you today. Elena pouted but nodded. The parents chuckled at their little girl. They bowed one last time towards the Scion in thanks and walked back to their home. Goku smiled at the family. It reminded him so much of his own. Goku looked at the heroes with a grin. Well, it was nice meeting all of you. It's getting late, so I better get going. Tatsumaki looked at Goku with a pout. Hey, don't forget what you promised, Goku-kun. The Scion looked confused. What do you mean? M.O., you promised you would teach us to use Ki, remember? The other 3 heroes looked up at Tatsumaki's words. They completely forgot about that. Oh, yeah. I did promise you that. But right now I'm still looking for a tournament to enter to earn some money. So, I'm sorry Tatsu-chan, the Scion said with a bow. Can we possibly postpone our lesson? The Esper sighed but nodded. Fine, I guess I don't mind. Bang rubbed his chin in thought. Oh, so you are looking for a tournament to enter, Goku? The Scion nodded. Yeah, on my Earth there was this great martial arts tournament that was held once a year. All the most powerful warriors from around the world would enter. And the winner gets not only the title of strongest under the heavens but also the grand prize of 10 million zeni. 10 million zeni? How much is that in yen? Asked Saitama curious. Goku thought for a bit. That's a good question. I think about double the amount. Since a ramen bowl costs about 60 zeni in my world. The others looked surprised. Wow, 60 zeni for a ramen bowl. That sounds cheap, said Saitama with a grin. Here on our Earth, it's about 120 yen. Tatsumaki snorted. If you buy them in a cheap ramen shop. The more expensive kind that we just ate cost around 250 yen. Saitama's eyes widened. What? 250 yen? That's expensive. Tatsumaki sighed. What do you expect? This restaurant is known for using high-quality ingredients in their ramen. Goku nodded. Yeah, I guess so. It certainly was delicious. It was almost as good as the ramen Chi-Chi used to make. Chi-Chi? Said Tatsumaki with a confused look. Who is that? Goku sighed. My wife. The others looked surprised. You are married, Goku-san? Asked Genos. Well, I used to be. Unfortunately Chi-Chi died a long time ago. The heroes bowed their heads. Bang couldn't help but feel sadness. Goku looked to be not older than 30. Losing your wife at such a young age. That must have been devastating. Tatsumaki didn't know what to feel. She was sad that Goku had lost his wife at such a young age. But on the other hand, she felt relieved. Oh, we are sorry to hear that, Goku-san, said Genos with a sad voice. Goku smiled at the cyborg. Ah, don't worry. It happened a long time ago. Saitama looked confused. Say, Goku. How old are you anyway? You look very young for someone who has been married. Huh, said Goku with a thoughtful look. That's a good question. He died when he fought Raditz for the first time when he was 23. When he was in the other world his body didn't age. After that, he traveled to Namek and stayed on Yardrat for at least a whole year. So, he was around 24, almost 25 then. 3 years later he died again when he fought Cell. And stayed in the other world for 7 years. So his body didn't age when he returned to Earth and fought Bu. And after that came 3 years of peace before Lord Beerus and Whis arrived. Then came the most challenging fights he ever had. Fighting a revived Frisia, who was still alive, unfortunately. The Ice Gene had a huge lifespan. The Scion from Earth hasn't seen the bastard in over 20 years. He tried to attack Goku when he just started his training journey and made his first stop on a barren planet. But Ice Gene overestimated himself again. Goku easily defeated Frisia using his Ultra Instinct technique. He was much stronger when he first used the technique in the Tournament of Power. Goku grinned. That was when he faced his most challenging opponent yet, Jiren. From what Goku has heard, Jiren became an apprentice of the Angel of Universe 11. What was her name again? Margarita? And Toppo became the new god of destruction. As for their counterpart Universe 6, he had heard that Hit became the new destroyer god. And those Scions had become gods like him, Vegeta and Broly. Goku's eyes softened when he thought of his first student. Broly was another amazing warrior he fought a few weeks after the Tournament of Power. He was incredibly strong and talented, though he had no control over his powers back then. No thanks to that bastard of a father, Paragus. After that event, Goku took Broly under his wing. He taught the Scion everything he knew about martial arts. And after he became a god himself, his power skyrocketed to amazing heights, surpassing his Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken times 20 by a long shot. Though, Broly's god form, unlike his or Vegeta's, was dark green in color instead of red. And when Broly went beyond Super Saiyan God, his aura turned purple. When Broly used that form, he could easily go to and to with the likes of Jiren and Beerus. But Goku had 2 tricks up his sleeve that Broly and even Vegeta didn't know about. He had not only found a new transformation, but he also found a level beyond Super Saiyan Blue during his training in outer space. The transformation was called SSJ5. His appearance changed quite drastically. His red fur of his SSJ4 transformation turned a light gray, while his eyes turned a dark red. His black hair turned white and grew past his ankles. He looked pretty intimidating in that form. As for his new god form, he called it simply his Omni mode. It was certainly the most powerful god transformation that he had. Although, he didn't like using that form that much, if Goku had to be honest. His appearance in that form made him look like a bad guy. Dark blue hair with red streaks. His eyes turned purple with 3 rings in them. A red line covered his chest and arms, with a red dot on the spot of his heart. And to complete the sinister look, Goku gained an upside red triangle on his forehead. So yeah, he wasn't planning on using that form unless he really needed it. Anyway, he was getting off track. He achieved his godhood about 5 years after the Tournament of Power. At that time he could easily access his Ultra Instinct technique. Though, even if he mastered said technique, which was an accomplishment by itself, since Vegeta and Broly hadn't mastered this technique yet. It took Goku a long time to beat Whis. Goku wasn't quite sure how he would stand against any of the other angels. Not to mention the Grand Priest or Zeno. Well, Zeno was out of his reach. He was the Omni King for a reason after all. He respected Zeno's power. And he was a good playmate. That's why he named his new god form after his little friend. Besides, having the ability to erase an entire universe out of existence with a wave of his hand was beyond the Scion's ability. Goku scratched his head in confusion. I think I'm around 30. Around 30? Can't you recall your own age? Goku looked at Saitama with an embarrassed chuckle. Sorry, it's been such a long time since anybody asked my age. I think I'm around 36, maybe 37. Well, physically anyway. Mentally he was around 131 years old. But, he decided to keep his godhood a secret for now. Bang chuckled. Well, you're certainly very powerful for someone so young. I think that even Saitama and Blast would stand no chance against you. Genos snorted at Bang's words. Please. Although Goku's powers are impressive, Master Saitama never lost a single match. Each opponent he faced in battle, he has beaten them with a single punch. That's about right, said Saitama with a nod. Except for that alien Boros. It took a serious single punch to kill that guy. Tatsumaki frowned at Saitama. Was this guy for real? A serious punch to defeat a god threat. I agree with your statement of Goku-kun being more powerful than Blast. She then glared at Saitama. And you, B-class. Stop lying about defeating powerful enemies with a single punch. There is no way anyone except that sidekick of yours would believe you. Saitama gained a tick mark on his forehead. The bald hero tried to stay calm. Genos glared at the Esper. How dare you call the master a liar? And I am no sidekick. I am master's student. Tatsumaki chuckled. Oh, how hilarious. An S-class like you following a B-class like that. How low can you sink? Listen up, Tornado. The only reason why Master Saitama is a B-class is because of his low results on the writing exam. But his strength is the real deal. In fact, he far surpasses you or any other S-class in power. Even Blast and King wouldn't stand a chance against him. Tornado smirked. An oppressive green aura began to radiate from the Esper. Is that so? Well, how about we find out right now how strong this B-class really is? Saitama sighed. He really didn't want to deal with this now. He wanted to get some sleep, so he could be on the time for the special bargain they had in the supermarket tomorrow. Genos smirked. Oh, you will regret it, Esper. But please, go right ahead. I look forward to see Master Saitama stomping you in the dirt where you belong. Tatsumaki glared at the cyborg. Nobody talked to her like that. She was going to show this cyborg just how strong she was. She turned towards Saitama. The bald hero had a bored look on his face. Like he didn't even care. Tatsumaki glared even harder. If looks could kill, he would already be dead. How dare this baldy ignore her? She was going to teach him a lesson he won't soon forget. But before Tatsumaki could engage in a fight, all the heroes including Saitama felt suddenly an enormous pressure. It made Genos, Bang and Tatsumaki fell on their knees. They couldn't move. Saitama looked at the person who was responsible for this phenomenon. Goku had a slight silver aura around his body. His eyes were glaring at Tatsumaki. Saitama felt a slight chill when he saw those eyes. What the hell was that, though the bald hero confused. Did his body actually warn him about fighting, Goku? That can't be right, could it? Although, he had never met someone who could give him chills just by looking at him. Saitama smirked. Could Goku really be the one who would give him a decent fight? Tatsumaki was amazed by the huge pressure coming from Goku. It was even a stronger feeling when Goku turned Super Saiyan. She was also shocked that Saitama was still standing. How could a B-class still stand when she, an S-class, could not? Was Genos telling the truth? Was Saitama really that strong? Bang couldn't believe what he was experiencing right now. This pressure he felt was beyond anything he had ever felt before. Goku was incredible. There was no doubt in his mind. King and even the powerful S-class Hero Blast would stand no chance. Saitama was the only one who was still standing. Genos was in shock. His scanner went into overload. He was on his knees and couldn't move. He knew that Goku was powerful. There was no question about that. But this? Genos looked at his master. He was still standing, as expected from Sensei. Genos saw something that made him even more surprised. His master had a smirk on his face while looking at Goku. He saw Saitama clenching his fist. Almost like he was excited. The hard pressure suddenly began to disappear. The three S-class heroes stood up slowly. When Tatsumaki looked in Goku's direction, she flinched a bit. He still had his silver aura around him, and his eyes were looking at the Esper with a stern expression. "Tatsumaki," said Goku with a serious voice. The Esper flinched again. Goku had never used her full name before. "I am disappointed in you. You let your emotions get to you when Gino said that Saitama was stronger than you." The green-haired girl sighed. Goku was right. She let her anger cloud her judgment. She wouldn't believe that a B-class was stronger than her. I mean, just by looking at Saitama's appearance made her question the hero's strength. "Sorry, Goku-kun. It's just that Saitama doesn't look that strong." Goku sighed. "Let me give you a lesson you must never forget. No matter how weak a person may look, never judge someone's ability by appearance. It may cost you your life someday." All the heroes looked surprised at Goku's wise words. Saitama smiled at that. This Goku fellow was something else. Tatsumaki nodded. "I guess you are right. It looks like I still need a lot of training to become a strong hero. After all, a hero can't be weak." Goku frowned. "Let me ask you a question. What defines a warrior? Or in your case, a hero?" Tatsumaki thought for a bit. Power and skill? Maybe experience?" Goku shook his head. "Wrong. Although those things are important, it does not define a hero." Tatsumaki and even Genos looked confused, though Saitama and Bang had a small smile on their faces. A warrior or a hero are those who risk their lives for others. They are people who selfishly put their lives on the line without expecting anything in return. The silver aura around Goku began to disappear. The Saiyan smiled softly. "A true hero isn't measured by the size of his strength, but the strength of his heart. Remember that, Tatsu-chan." The girl blushed when Goku called her by her nickname. The girl nodded sheepishly. Saitama suddenly spoke. "Goku," said Saitama seriously, "I'm going to do something. I apologize in advance if something bad happens to you." The three heroes were confused at Saitama's words, but Goku nodded with a grin. "Sure, go right ahead." In a blink of an eye, Saitama vanished from sight. The other heroes could not comprehend the speed of the bald hero. He appeared behind Goku with a clenched fist ready to strike. Normally, Saitama would never use this move on a human, especially someone as friendly as Goku. But he couldn't help it. When he felt that slight chill in his body earlier, he wanted to test the Saiyan. The only human he ever used this move on was Genos, although he never went through with it. He didn't want to kill the cyborg. But seeing Goku's abilities and that feeling he felt earlier made him change his mind. He decided to use one of his strongest normal punches. Goku didn't disappoint. Instead of the usual explosion of flesh, his fist was stopped by an incredible force. Goku was impressed. That attack came close to one of the punches of Majin Buu. Fat Buu. Saitama was amazed. Goku didn't just stop his punch. He negated the force of his attack. Normally, when he punched someone, the force of his strike let out a huge shockwave. But somehow, this guy negated it. Goku smirked. "Are you satisfied?" Saitama grinned. "Oh yeah. I am." Genos stood there. His mind was in total shock. Goku-san actually stopped one of Master's punches. And by the looks of it, Goku did it with ease. His body was surrounded by his Super Saiyan aura, though his hair was still black. But at closer inspection, you could see a slight hint of yellow at the top of Goku's spikes. Tatsumaki couldn't believe what she was seeing. Not even in her wildest dreams did she believe that Baldy was capable of such speed. And she was even more amazed by Goku's skill. The Saiyan from Earth easily caught the punch like it was child's play. Bang chuckled on the inside. Goku's skill as a martial artist amazed him even further. He not only caught Saitama's punch but completely dispelled the force of said attack. "You are the first person who ever caught my punch." "You are strong," said Saitama with an excited grin. Goku chuckled. "Thanks, so are you. You are very impressive. Did you have any sort of training in martial arts?" Saitama shook his head. "Nah, I never followed any martial arts. I just trained my body doing physical exercises." "Oh," said Goku, curious. "What kind of exercises?" Saitama sighed. "Everybody when I say this. But I did 100 sit-ups, 100 pull-ups and a 3-kilometer run each day for 3 years. I also use no air conditioner in the summer to strengthen my mind." Tatsumaki looked at Saitama like he was crazy. "Are you a moron? How could anyone get so strong with such basic training?" Saitama frowned. "It wasn't basic. It was really hard. Each day felt like hell on earth. And when only a year had passed, I began to notice a huge difference. My hair started to fall off. And 2 years later, I became bald." "Wait, you had hair," said Tatsumaki, surprised. Saitama gained a tick mark on his forehead. "Of course I had hair. What did you think? That I was born bald?" "Technically, sensei, when a baby is born, it normally doesn't possess much hair. Though, some newborns are an exception and are born with a lot of hair or even none at all." "It's quite an interesting subject," said Genos with a thoughtful look. "Thanks for the info, Genos. But could we stop talking about my lack of hair? It's not a fun subject for me to talk about." The bald hero still missed his beautiful hair. If he had known that his training regime would cause the loss of his hair, he would have never continued his training. Goku chuckled. "Let me check something for a bit, okay?" Sure," said Saitama, confused. Goku put his hand on Saitama's bald head. Tatsumaki giggled at Goku's actions. "What the heck are you doing?" said Saitama, annoyed. "Shoo, I'm trying to concentrate," said Goku. "What for?" "I am trying to find out the source of your power. And when I locate it, I can find out the reason for your increased strength." All the heroes looked amazed. "You can do that?" asked Genos. "Yes, but it takes concentration. So please, keep quiet for a bit." After a while, Goku opened his eyes. "I see, so that's what happened. I understand." "You do? So, how did I become so strong?" "It's quite simple, really. You have removed your limiters on your body." "My limiters?" "Yes. You see, each individual has a certain amount limiters in their body. They act as blockades to make sure you don't gain too much strength. Since the human body is made of bones, flesh, muscles, and water, it can only contain a slight amount of power. Though, there is a way to break those limits." "Oh? And what's that?" said Bang, curious. "By training your body in extreme conditions," said Goku with a grin. Saitama looked at the Tatsumaki with a smug look. "See? I told you. The training I went through helped me to gain my strength." The Esper rolled her eyes. Goku-kun said harsh conditions. Not basic training regimen for a jogger. "What do you mean basic training?" "I went through hell during those 3 years." Goku sighed. "Sorry Saitama, but Tatsumaki is right. The exercises you did are not that hard. I could do those when I was only 12. Saitama got depressed. "Then how did I break my limiters?" Goku smirked. "That's the most impressive thing. You broke your limiters through sheer force. But I wasn't that strong back then. How could I have broken them through sheer force?" Goku shook his head. "By force, I don't mean by strength. You used your mind. You broke yours through sheer willpower. Which is something I have never heard before." Saitama and the heroes looked surprised. "So, Master Saitama gained his strength by using his will?" That's quite amazing. Though, it's Master Saitama we are talking about. There is nothing he can't do, said the cyborg with a proud grin. Except maybe taking exams, thought Genos with a sweat drop. While impressive as that sounds, it doesn't explain Saitama's lack of hair, said Tatsumaki with a thoughtful look. Saitama sighed. Will you lay off already? I don't know why it happened, okay. Goku chuckled. Well, that's a side effect of him gaining so much power. Wait, are you telling me that by gaining his strength, Saitama has lost his hair? Said Bang shocked. Well, not exactly. He didn't lose his hair by just gaining strength. Otherwise, everyone with huge powers would be bald. Including me. Tatsumaki had a mental image of a bald Goku in her head. She began to shake her head. Goku-kun, don't say that. It would be such a waste of your good looks. The scion scratched his cheek nervously. He had a slight blush on his face. Thanks Tatsu-chan. Saitama frowned. Hey, what do you mean by that? What's wrong with being bald? Tatsumaki looked at the bald hero with a deadpan look. It's unattractive in my eyes. Genos tried to console his master. Don't worry, sensei. If you want, my offer still stands for making that hair-growing medicine. But before Saitama could reject the offer, Goku spoke up. That won't be necessary. The scion from Earth put his hand for the second time on Saitama's head. Much to the bald hero's annoyance. I can easily fix Saitama's problem. You can, said Saitama with hope in his eyes. Yes, said Goku with a grin. The scion hand began to glow yellow light. The glow began to surround Saitama's head. You see. The reason why you became bald is because of the sudden increase of power your body at that time experienced. It was way too much power for your body to handle. The sudden increase of strength must have damaged your hair follicles and the blood vessels that are beneath them. What are hair follicles? Asked Saitama, confused. Allow me to explain, Master Saitama. Let's begin at the top, said Genos. First, let's do a quick recap of what hair follicles are and why they're so crucial. Hair growth begins under the human skin, where cells come together to form keratin. This occurs at the hair root, which is housed inside of a follicle, a small tube in your skin. Once your hair grows, it pushes all the way from the root, out of the follicle, and finally, through the skin, where it becomes visible. There are little blood vessels at the base of each hair follicle. These are tasked with feeding the hair root, which keeps it growing. The hair follicle is also usually attached to a sebaceous gland, which produces oil. This gives the hair its shine. Thanks for the info, Genos, said Saitama with a sweat drop. You are welcome, Master, said the cyborg with a proud look. Goku chuckled at the cyborg's antics. It took a while before Goku was finished. The damage that happened was far more severe than he had first thought. He also found a few bones and muscle tissues that were damaged. There, that should do it. It took a while to repair the damage. But it should be okay now. Your hair should start growing again in a couple of weeks. Really, said Saitama with a happy smile. This was the best day of Saitama's life. He will finally have his hair again. He bowed in gratitude. Thanks, Goku. If my hair does return, I will repay you by treating you to some udon noodles. Goku grinned. Sheesh, thanks. I will be looking forward to that. Until I earn some money, I will probably be eating fish again. Huh, why don't you become a hero? Asked Saitama, confused. I mean, the pay is quite good. And you have all the qualifications to be one. Goku shook his head. Nah, I don't need to become a hero to save people's lives. Besides, earning money to save people, it just doesn't sit right with me. Tatsumaki sighed at Goku's words. That may be true, Goku-kun. But how are you going to earn money? Do you have any diplomas? Goku grinned at Tatsumaki. Nope, none at all. But it doesn't matter to me. If I really need money, I can always enter a tournament. Or maybe start my own dojo. Bang grinned at that idea. He suddenly remembered something. Oh, Goku. Since you are looking to enter a tournament, I might have the solution. You have, said Goku with a smile. Yes. You see, the Hero Association announced the start of a brand new tournament. It is called the Iron Fist Tournament. Oh, I forgot about that, said Tatsumaki. We had a meeting about that a few weeks ago. Genos looked thoughtful. I don't remember that. It must have been when I was busy. The cyborg suddenly remembered. Oh, that's right. I was busy doing Master Saitama's shopping that day. That stupid stalker and flasher Speed O-Sound Sonic was also there. Saitama looked annoyed. What, Sonic? Did he want to fight me again? Yes, said Genos with a nod. He first rudely interrupted my shopping. And he demanded to know where you lived. Luckily, I managed to lose him when Pori Pori Prisoner arrived on the scene. Tatsumaki shivered when she heard that freak's name. She could never deal with that guy's antics. Well, anyway, said Bang with a cough. As I was saying, this tournament has been made possible by Agoni, the man who also created the Hero Association. Any contender may participate. May they be a hero, a martial artist, or even an ordinary person. Goku grinned. Sounds like a lot of fun. Saitama looked intrigued. If Goku was planning to enter that tournament, thought the bald hero with an exciting grin. Then this may be worth my time. It's not that the bald hero had anything better to do. Besides, Goku was the first person who had ever caught his punch. Sure, it was only one of his normal punches. But the fact he did it with such ease made the hero excited. By the way, Bang. Is there any prize money you can win in this tournament? Asked Goku curiously. As I recall, the winner gets around 30 million yen. And a huge supply of food is given to the runner-up. I think there was a third prize also. But unfortunately, I can't remember what that was. 30 million yen, screamed Saitama in shock. Alright, said the bald hero with a grin. Genos, I am going to enter that tournament. The cyborg nodded. Very well, master. If you compete, I shall enter as well. I will do my best to get that second or third prize. The Esper snorted. In your dreams, cyborg, said Tatsumaki with a grin. Goku chuckled. Well, you all seem motivated. Bang, when and where does this tournament start? The Iron Fist tournament begins in 4 weeks. It starts around 10 a.m. in Sea City. The Scion from Earth nodded. He began to levitate off the ground. Great! Now, for those who are still interested in learning how to use ki, meet me tomorrow at my home. You all remember where I live, right? They all nodded. Goku waved one more time. See you then. The Scion powered up and flew with amazing speeds towards his home. Saitama looked with calculated eyes at Goku's disappearing form. He clenched his fists. When that fateful day comes, I hope you won't disappoint me, Son Goku, thought the bald hero with a serious look. Goku was levitating in a meditated stance above the huge lake where he usually hunts for fish. His Super Saiyan aura surrounded his entire body. The Scion from Earth was trying to combine his Super Saiyan transformation with his Ultra Instinct technique. His blonde hair began to flicker. A small hint of silver began to appear and mix with his Super Saiyan aura. His blonde hair gained silver streaks. And when Goku opened his blue eyes, you could see the edges of his irises had turned silver. The Scion looked at his appearance from the surface of the lake. Not a bad look, said the Scion with a grin. Goku could tell that using his Ultra Instinct technique with his transformations made them a lot stronger. He wondered if using his MUI on his god transformations was possible. Using MUI with his normal transformations wasn't that easy to pull off. It took many hardships and errors in the beginning. Although his transformations gained a huge power boost. Using Mui on his base form felt just the same as using his Ultra Instinct when he first awoke it during the Tournament of Power. A lot stronger, of course. Using it with his Super Saiyan was a different story. The technique gave his transformation an incredible boost in strength and speed. He should probably master this transformation first before using it on SSJ2. Goku suddenly felt 5 key signatures entering the forest where he lived. Strange? How come there are 5 signatures? Goku sensed that the 5th signature felt familiar. Weird. This person has almost the same signature as Tatsu-chan. Then Goku suddenly sensed a 6th signature following the group. Who the hell was that? Oh well, I guess I will find out later. Goku went inside his cabin to change into a different outfit. This one was a bit smelly from training, after all. His new outfit was one he made during his travels through space. Light blue martial arts pants and a forest green vest that was held together with a green/brown belt. The belt on the front had a buckle with a light purple logo on it. He wore a green band around his upper right arm. And dark purple wristbands. His boots were green in color. A red line ran through the middle and the bottom of his left boot, while a blue line did the same on his left. The top side of his boots was patterned with orange triangles, as was the bottom of his dogi. On the lower left side of his dogi were strange markings stitched on. The one in the middle looked to be a deformed blue star. 3 small blue dots were centered around the star. One on the right, the left, and above, and on the lower right side. There looked to be a red pattern of a fearsome crimson dragon. Goku suddenly heard the familiar voice of Saitama outside. I told you a million times already. I'm not going to join your group. Then our hero heard Geno's voice. You heard Master's answer. Stop bugging him about it. Come on now, no need to be so rude. I was only asking. Besides, joining me in my group comes with a lot of benefits, said an unfamiliar female voice. Tatsumaki's voice was heard. You should just ditch that bunch of losers. They will only hold you back. I have told you this many times before, Fubuki. So, Fubuki was her name, thought Goku. Wani-san, I won't ditch my friends. They give me strength in battle. So that's why the energy felt so familiar. It was Tatsumaki's sister. Besides, I can't rise to the top as you can. I'm not as strong as you. Then train your powers more. If you would just train yourself more, you could easily become an S-class like me. Fubuki pouted. Why do you care what I do? You didn't even show up yesterday. Tatsumaki gave her a sad look. It's not my fault, Fubuki. It was HQ. I had to stop a threat. I'm sorry, okay? I promise next time we will go on a shopping trip. Fubuki snorted. Yeah, right. I believe that when I see it. Now you two, said the voice of Bang. No need to argue. You two are siblings after all. Saitama looked confused at Genos. Don't most siblings argue all the time? I know I did with my brother when I was young. Genos looked surprised at his master. You have a sibling, master? Saitama nodded. Yeah, well technically I also have a sister. But she was only 10 when I last saw her. And I haven't seen any of them since I left. Why don't you see them anymore? Asked Tatsumaki curiously. It would be too awkward to go back home now. I got into an argument with my parents about school. I dropped out of college and they didn't like my decision. I left my parents' house when I was about Genos' age. I did all kinds of jobs to get by for a few years. But I decided to quit and train to become a hero instead. After I saved some kid from a crab monster. The other heroes looked surprised. You saved a kid from a crab monster? Said Bang curious. When was this exactly? About 3 years ago, I guess. Why? Tatsumaki looked at Saitama with a thoughtful look. How did this kid look like? Well, I do remember the kid had a large chin. The heroes looked shocked. Wait, are you certain, Master? Yeah, said Saitama confused. Why do you act so shocked? It was just a random kid I saved. You moron, said Tatsumaki. You didn't save a random kid. You saved the grandson of Agoni, the person who founded Hero Association. Huh, I did? Yes, said Bang, who was also surprised. In fact, you're the main reason why Agoni created the Hero Association in the first place. He did it not only to make an organization to protect humanity from monsters, but he also wanted to find the person who saved his grandson and thank him. Saitama scratched his head. Well, it's not like I was hiding or something. I was just busy with my training. Heck, I didn't even know that the Hero Association existed until I met Genos. Fubuki frowned. It's really strange. I mean, in those 3 years. You might think that somebody recognized you by now? Any bystander who witnessed the whole thing. Saitama shrugged his shoulders. Well, there might have been a couple of bystanders. But I doubt they would remember anything. They were in shock and quite scared. Still, said Fubuki in deep thought, I find it quite strange. You aren't exactly easy to forget. With that bald head and that stupid look on your face. Tatsumaki laughed at her sister's words. Well, I'm sorry for being bald and for looking dumb, yelled Saitama towards the Esper. You are really rude. You are almost as bad as your sister. For your information, I once had hair. It's not my fault it fell off. Genos started to raise his hand towards Esper. You have some nerve for insulting Master's lack of hair. I don't care if you are the top B-class hero or the sister of Tornado. You better apologize before I erase you from existence. Fubuki began to get scared of the cyborg. Tatsumaki glared at Genos. If you dare to hurt my sister, you piece of scrap metal, then I hope you are prepared to face the consequences. A green aura began to surround the Esper. Genos glared back. As long as your sister apologizes, I will not hurt her. Fubuki began to bow. I'm sorry for insulting you like that. I didn't mean to. Saitama sighed. His anger disappeared. Fine, I forgive you. And, Genos, please stop pointing your cannons towards Fubuki. Genos nodded. Very well, Master Saitama. Fubuki sighed in relief. I'm sorry again. I really didn't mean to insult you. I guess sometimes I don't think that my words or actions may hurt someone. It's fine, said Saitama with a smile. At least you apologized immediately. Unlike your sister. Fubuki chuckled. Yes, my sister can be quite stubborn sometimes. Say, are you really sure you don't want to join the Blizzard Bunch? I might find a way to help you get your hair back. Saitama chuckled. You really won't give up, do you? Sorry, but I want to become S-class on my own. As for my hair, it may grow back any day now thanks to the help of Goku. Fubuki looked confused. Goku? Who is that? That would be me, said a voice. Tatsumaki smiled. Goku-kun. It's so good to see you again. I really love your new outfit. Goku-kun, thought Fubuki surprised. Since when does my sister call someone with such affection? Goku smiled. Thanks, Tatsu-chan. Fubuki was shocked. Wait, her sister never allows anyone to call her in such a manner. Fubuki had a sly smile on her face. It looks like my big sister found someone who piqued her interest. The Esper gave the man a look from top to bottom. She smirked. He certainly was handsome. And those muscles are certainly a pleasant look to the eyes. The Esper decided to introduce herself. Hello, there. It's nice to meet you. My name is Fubuki. And I'm Tatsumaki's younger sister. Goku smiled. Hey, nice to meet you too. So you are Tatsu-chan's sister? Did you also come here to learn ki? Fubuki looked confused. Ki? What is that? Tatsumaki sighed. I didn't know she was going to be here, Goku-kun. She came here together with Genos and Saitama. She wants Saitama to join her hero group called the Blizzard Bunch. But even after denying her proposal, she didn't give up and decided to follow him and tag along. Bang chuckled. Miss Fubuki is certainly determined. Fubuki had a proud look on her face. Of course. Every hero who makes it to the top 10 in B-class deserves to be in my group. And he is quite strong. He defeated my group easily. I wanted to fight him also to test him further. But he already walked away since he said he had an appointment. Though, I didn't know that my sister, Silver Fawn, and the demon cyborg would be here also. Goku chuckled. Well, Fubuki-chan. Fubuki gained a slight blush by the nickname. Tatsumaki frowned. She didn't like Goku-kun calling her sister that. I promised to teach Tatsu-chan and the rest of the group how to control their energy. And what is that exactly? Said Fubuki, a bit interested. Ki or energy is an intangible energy inside the human body. If you learn to unlock it, you'll be able to learn all sorts of different techniques and attacks. You'll even be able to sense the strength of an individual. Fubuki and even the rest of the group looked surprised at that. That would certainly be a handy skill to have. Are there any other skills you can learn? Asked Fubuki curiously. Goku nodded. Yes, but before that. Goku suddenly had a serious look on his face. You can come out now. I know you are there. The others were on guard immediately. Was someone else there? Suddenly a voice was heard. Well. I am certainly surprised you could sense my presence. Saitama and Genos sighed. Oh no, not him again, said Saitama in annoyance. A person who looked to be dressed like a ninja suddenly appeared in front of the group. Genos glared at individuals. You filthy stalker. How many times does Master Saitama have to defeat you to take a hint? Filthy? Thought Goku confused. He didn't look like he needed a bath. The man glared. Stop calling me a stalker, you stupid piece of junk. And I never give up fighting Saitama until I defeat him. So stay out of my way. Genos glared. You are not worthy of challenging Master. You have to defeat me first, you filthy flasher. The other heroes frowned in disgust. This guy sounded a lot like that weirdo Pori prisoner. You, said the ninja with a laughing tone. What can a piece of scrap metal hope to achieve against a great shinobi like me? Honestly. Are you willing to die? Besides, said the ninja with a chuckle. You ran away the last time we fought when Pori prisoner showed up. Genos took on a fighting pose. Your overconfidence in your own abilities will be your downfall. Besides, I didn't run away. I was grocery shopping for Master Saitama. That was my first priority. So be it, said the shinobi with a death stare. Then you will die. But before any of the two moved, Goku intervened. Hey, take your fight somewhere else. This is my home. And the last forest in the remaining area. I won't let you two fight here and destroy it with your attacks. The shinobi glared at Goku. Stay out of this, monkey man. I don't care about this forest. All I care about is fighting Saitama. The ninja gained a psychotic look. And anyone who stands in my way will be destroyed. With incredible speed, the man began to rush toward Genos, ready to cut the cyborg in half. But right before the ninja could strike, he stopped in his tracks. His face was in agony and he began to cough up a lot of saliva and blood. Goku was standing in front of him with his fist deeply lodged into his stomach. Nobody but Saitama saw him move. Fubuki looked in shock and amazement. Who was this guy? Saitama smirked. Damn, Goku is fast. His body began to boil with excitement. Tatsumaki and Bang were amazed by Goku's speed. And he was only in his base form. How fast and strong would Goku be when he uses one of his transformations? The ninja fell to his knees. Damn, you, said the man in pain. He was never struck with such power before. Not even Saitama's punches hurt him this bad. And what made it worse was that he didn't even see him move. He was like Saitama. Goku sighed. Sorry, but you left me no choice. Now, I think it's best you leave right now. You won't be able to fight with those injuries. The monkey man was right. That attack seriously damaged him. It was best to retreat for now. The ninja slowly stood up. Why you, said the ninja with harsh breaths. What is why your name? Who me, asked Goku confused. My name is Son Goku. Son Goku, said the ninja with a determined glare. My name is Speedo Sound Sonic. And I declare you my second obstacle to overcome. I will train to get even stronger than I am today. And I will not only defeat you, but Saitama as well. Goku chuckled. Well, Sonic, I wish you the best of luck with your training. And if you really want to fight me or Saitama, there is a tournament coming up in 4 weeks. It will be held in Sea City at 10 a.m. Sonic frowned but nodded. Goku then threw something at Sonic that he took from his pocket. Sonic caught it. What is this supposed to be? Training weights. It's about 10 tons. The others looked shocked. Except for Saitama, who looked confused. Why would he give training weights to Sonic? Sonic was amazed by the amount. How could anyone wear this much weight? The shinobi smirked. Are you sure you want to give me this? I might surpass you and Saitama. Goku chuckled. I doubt that. But yeah, I'm sure. Sonic glared at Goku. Did this monkey think he couldn't handle the weight? I'll show him. The shinobi vanished from the forest. Goku sighed. That Sonic guy had potential. But just training in those weights won't make him reach his or Saitama's level. Unless he also manages to somehow remove his limiters. It certainly would make him a lot stronger though. But without ki, he won't be able to handle all of that weight. The human body can only endure so much. Oh, well. I guess we will find out in a month how much stronger this guy will become. Goku turned toward the group. Hey Goku, said Saitama, confused. Why did you give that training to Sonic? Goku shrugged his shoulders. Matt, he looks to have some potential to get stronger. So I thought of giving him something to help him. Saitama accepted Goku's answer. Now then, said Goku with a grin. Are you all ready to learn how to unlock your ki? The heroes nodded. Even Fubuki. Goku smirked. Great. Let the training begin. Everyone except Saitama swallowed nervously. What kind of mess did they get themselves into? That's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this movie. If you want more, like this video, hit that notification bell, and maybe even give a comment on your thoughts on the video. Later on this week, I'll send out a poll for what if you'll like to hear next. With that being said, I'll see you all in the next part.